Something you may or may not know about me is I like to drink. I like to drink all different kinds of drinks. So when I got the opportunity to check out Lost Spirits Distillery in downtown LA, I jumped at the chance. You're probably asking yourself right now, what the shit is Lost Spirits Distillery? Well, I don't know much about it either, but I heard it's an incredible tour that I must see. So I'm going to put on my drinking pants and see what it has to offer.
But wait, there's more!
That's right. For those of you at home of the legal drinking age, we decided to have a little bit of fun with this episode and turn it into a bit of a drinking game. At the bottom of your screen, you're going to see a drink counter. The object of the game is to try and keep up with me. So good luck, and please, drink responsibly. Oh, I forgot to mention that I stopped off at the Art District Brewery before this tour, so I'm already 3 deep. Try and keep up. After the long drive from Huntington Beach and 3 beers in, I was definitely happy that someone was here to let me in, because it was time to break the seal. Luckily for me, it's actually the first part of the tour. I'm about to check out the bathroom. I guess it's like the first thing you're supposed to check out on this tour, so let's see. It's a bathroom.
Internet for appropriate entertainment during your time here. So please enjoy the special offering from Z Frank.
Here we will explore true facts about the sea pig. Here is a picture of a land pig.
Get a look at the sea pig.
The sea pig exceeds and gains protection. The sea cucumber, meanwhile,
I'm learning a lot about a sea cucumber right now.
A sea cucumber.
Am I a sea cucumber?
Defensive adaptation.
I mean, I guess this is the very beginning. This is only the bathroom, and I don't want to leave. But I bet there's other people needing to pee, so we'll get out of here. Well, now that we got that out of the way, let's see what else they have in store at this magical place. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to a very special edition of Drinks with Johnny. I'm here in downtown LA at Lost Spirits with my friend Taryn here. He's going to be showing me around for a little bit here. Thank you so much for having us.
Our pleasure.
Awesome. So what do we have here to begin?
We've got our Abomination series of peated malt whiskeys. So we're starting you off at a cool 54% alcohol.
Oh, cool 54.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
We're starting out nice and mellow.
Heavily peated, and yeah. Take a nose, take a sip, enjoy.
Nice.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know much about peated whiskey, well, the peat is actually made from thousands of years of decaying vegetation, animals, and moss. Now they take these peat bogs, turn them into peat bricks, then burn those bricks and expose the malt or barley to the smoke, thus giving this whiskey the distinct flavor that I love. That's really nice. It has a lot of, that's really peated. I like that. So I'm a big fan of like the Isla region and everything. This is very in there.
It is. Actually, it's peated to about 50 ppm. You called it correctly, Isla. It comes here unmatured, only about an 8 to 12 month old cask. We run it through the reactor that you'll be seeing a little bit later.
The whiskey was so good, I was really hoping Taryn was going to pour me another glass, but then... I guess we're moving on. It's time to follow Taryn into what appears to be some sort of jungle. Now here's the part where Taryn leaves me hanging. Apparently here at Lost Spirits, they think it's a good idea to get you drunk and send you through a fucking maze. So our guy Taryn literally just left me in the jungle a second ago. He gave me 54% alcohol from Isla, which I love, don't get me wrong, but I have no idea where the fuck he went. I think I'm supposed to go this way. I'm in a maze, I'm in a jungle. I think this is part of it, I guess. Like, there's a fucking donkey? I don't know, man. Hi, donkey. I mean...
Welcome.
I made it through.
You made it through. You made all the right turns.
First step, right?
Yeah. All the right turns, couple left turns. You passed our field sobriety test. Congratulations.
Thank God. I usually fail those. Well, I did it. I made it through the maze and found Taryn. I wonder what he has for me next.
Lost Spirits actually started nearly a decade ago up in Northern California, a little town called Castroville. In 2014, all production came to a halt and we closed that distillery for good because of the results of one experiment. But for more on that, if you'll please come with me.
Oh, I can't wait.
Welcome, guys, to the Library of Failed Experiments.
Oof. This is actually where I was born. So what the fuck am I looking at here?
Well, let's get back to the story for a moment, because in 2014, as I mentioned, we closed our old distillery because of an experiment that showed some rather unique properties. In this case, the resulting chromatogram showed the chemical signature of a 20-year-old rum, matured in a mason jar on a tabletop in 6 days. Now that required a bit more research.
I'm ready to see what's next.
Fantastic. Well, what's next is a little journey down our river, if you'll please follow me.
Absolutely.
A river? On a distillery tour? Nah.
Come all ye brisk young fellows who have a mind to roam. All in
Well, Lost Spirits is basically an oversized DIY project, and here, everything you see built entirely from parts you can find at Home Depot. Mostly just so we could tell our favorite boat story, which is the origin of the term proof. Historically, Navy rum was a blend of Guyanese and Jamaican rum, and it was served to the British Royal Navy. Now that was the deal. When you enlisted, you were guaranteed a paycheck and 8 ounces of rum a day.
I would have gotten rid of the paycheck and asked for 16 ounces, but you know.
But storing that much rum aboard a ship, well, that could be problematic because barrels of rum would end up right next to barrels of gunpowder. And that's where there's an issue. Say a stray cannonball could tear through the hole, take out a cask of rum, getting all the gunpowder wet. Well, you wouldn't be able to fire back.
Fire that, yeah.
The exception to that was if the rum was 57.15% alcohol or stronger. At that strength, even wet, gunpowder still ignites.
Still nice. Okay.
So, the sailors knew that when they boarded the ship. The problem was if you were at sea too long, supplies of rum would get low, and the officers would worry about mutiny. Well, they'd add water to the rum to make it last longer, effectively stealing the pay of the crew. Well, the sailors got wise, and they devised a test. If they suspected anything, they'd go below decks, take a bit of rum, a bit of gunpowder, mix the two together. If it lit, it was proven worthy, or had been proof.
Proven, proofed. Damn, I love this story. I'm learning so much.
So I'm learning a lot here from Taryn, and this tour is definitely starting to pick up. It feels like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but with alcohol.
Do watch your step as you disembark here, guys.
Awesome, man.
And follow me.
Whoa. How's it going, man? Johnny?
Good. Win.
Win.
Great to meet you. I'm one of the partners here at Lost Spirits.
Awesome, thank you so much. Hey, so Wynn's gonna be taking over this portion of the tour.
I'm excited to see what my new tour guide, Wen, has in store for me. I hear he spends most of his time in the lab, so I'm sure he and I will have a lot in common.
This is not your average LA city bus, let me tell you, all right?
The seat is your choice, but let me get you set up with our brandy. It's a grape brandy. It's a newer product of ours. It was actually the result of an R&D partnership with a winery up in Northern California.
Very cool, so smells awesome. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
So it definitely feels like I'm in the hull of a fancy submarine, and this brandy definitely fits the vibe.
It literally tastes like a wine with like way more alcohol poured into it.
This is the best batch of brandy we've made so far.
It's fantastic, man. Like, I feel like, well, I mean, I drink a lot of stuff, but I feel like I could drink a lot of this.
Cool. So yeah, grab a seat and we'll get this voyage underway.
Let's go.
Well, by the crazed look in Captain Wynn's eyes, it looks like we're going under. I better hold my breath.
Right. So we've got a little bit of a voyage ahead of us. At one point, we're going to need to go under the LA River. We've determined that that's the most efficient form of travel to get where we need to go.
Damn, I mean, that sounds great.
I'm going to interrupt you because we're going to need to dive. So this is important.
Oh, okay. So hold your breath.
This.
Dive command accepted.
Dive command accepted. Commander progress in New York.
What language was that?
That was Russian. This is actually Russian technology. It was a former Russian sub that we've repurposed for our use.
Okay. So like true Russian or like when Sean Connery plays a Russian?
There's some things I'm just not allowed to talk about.
This guy's tight-lipped, dude. Oh shit. Oh my god, we're going under. I gotta say, I really have to pee, so I hope we're on our way up. If not, Wynn's gonna kick me off this thing.
We never build any facilities into this. So,
So you just expect everyone to hold it the whole fucking tour?
well, yeah, well, just the transport, just on the
Oh,
sub.
come on.
This submarine ride took a little longer than expected, but Captain Wynn had my back with a little more of that delicious brandy. Add a drink to the counter.
So when you're using both sides of the brain while I'm still stuck here on one side.
Yeah. Now, hold
I'm
on,
not even
there's
doing
a-
it well.
There's another little safety.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
That should be.
Thank you for sailing the friendly seas with lost spirits. Please gather all of your belongings, including electronics, clothing.
Yeah, so make sure you don't forget the camera.
as you might have stowed during
Okay.
Can't forget the camera.
Follow me.
I will.
I really don't know where Wynn's taking me at this point, but I have a hunch there's alcohol involved. So I'll follow him.
Come into the jungle. We took the submarine in. We're at the next part of this tour. I'm here with
So hi, my name's Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Johnny. Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure.
man. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, so I'm the original guy who dreamt this crazy place up, and I get to be your tour guide for this part of the tour. And by the way, welcome to the Fermentation Jungle.
This is a fermentation jungle.
Yeah, this is actually where we ferment our rum. There's actually some fermenting right there. If you want to see bubbling and fizzing, you'll need to hold a flashlight into it. So yeah, what you're drinking here is what's called a Jamaican high ester rum. Now, most people have never had one of these before. They're really fun. Go ahead and take a sip. They're really entertaining to drink, and they're also really entertaining to talk about.
My newest tour guide, Brian, was not wrong. This rum is great, and the flavors just keep going on a fun journey. But what's real interesting is the story of how it was originally made.
Okay.
Basically, you dig a hole in the ground that's about 10 feet deep by 10 feet wide, and then you take a goat, and you sacrifice the goat to the local gods. And you leave the goat's head in the sun for a week until it becomes a bloated, rotten, disgusting mess. And you roll the goat head into the pit.
Fucking goat's head?
Well, a very, very small part, and maybe not true. It's
Maybe not true. Not that it's not true, but it maybe not true.
We don't know. So the pits are all more than 100 years. Well, the reason you did it was to get the bacteria so you could throw them into your fermentation tank. And then the bacteria talk to each other by making chemicals called short-chain fatty acids. It's how bacteria regulate their population density. Now those are also...
I definitely like Brian, but a lot of the things he was saying was going right over my head. He's way too smart for me.
Jungle?
That is fucking fantastic, man.
You guys have any questions, or should I take you out to the barrel room?
Let's just go out to the barrel room, man. I'm ready.
Sweet. All right,
do it.
this way.
I could ask you questions, but it once again is just gonna go.
All right, these guys are clearly having way too much fun. They built a fucking carousel in the middle of the tour.
It's the only way to get you to the barrel room.
The only way. Can't use your feet.
And welcome aboard the first attempted journey to get people to the barrel room in a more efficient fashion.
This is the first voyage of this thing. So all you fuckers in LA think you're really
by the
cool.
way,
I got the first fucking tour.
So needless to say, I was feeling pretty excited about being the very first one on this part of the tour.
That's fucking awesome.
So, what you're looking at is actually how we break down the wood inside the booze. Essentially, the short version of how the aging process works is that we take the booze and then heat it up.
I feel like I just witnessed something so magical. Well, for my life anyway. I want to put my dick in it. So after the amazing carousel, we are back here with Wynn. Thank
Great to see you again.
I didn't think you were going to hang out with me again.
You're too much fun.
You came back because I'm fun. All right, what do you got for us now?
So, welcome to our R&D lab.
Looks like this is where all the important stuff gets done. Wynn's a pretty smart guy, so I figured I'd impress him with some of my knowledge and intellect.
The red ones are red balls, and the black ones are black. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you are totally correct. Here's one that's up your alley. Our desire to have a Mai Tai.
Ooh, I love Mai Tais.
Perfect. So, the original Mai Tai was first created back in 1944, but it used a rum at the time that was really sort of a mistake and an aberration. It was called J-Rain FU17.
Ray J 5. What the fuck did he just say to me?
Nothing like it. There have been books written about it. So we wanted to try a 1944 Mai Tai All we need to do is get our hands on some J-Ran FU17. There is another tasting room coming, so I'm gonna close that part of the story. I'm gonna call that part 1, and then I'll continue on the journey. But we'll sort of get you moving onwards and upwards.
I see where we're going.
So I really don't know what my new friend Win was just talking about, but I am excited to hear the rest of the story, so I'll follow him.
Okay, which part can I take? Okay, I'll take this.
Oh, this is my far too cluttered desk. This way. This way.
Apparently, the bottles on Win's desk are not for free. I guess it's time for us to go back to the other side of the distillery.
We're going back in.
Captain Win has navigated us back to our submarine, but something seems different this time.
I love her already.
This is our other heavily peated malt. This is Sayers of the Law.
Honestly, at this point, I don't know what I'm drinking.
I think I just drank brandy.
Now, I want to give you part 2 of the story. The Mai Tai. Our quest for the Mai Tai. Our quest for the Mai Tai. I told you I was not going to leave you hanging. Okay. So,
part 2, Mai Tai. Let's go.
So, the only way, really, to truly have a Mai Tai, a 1944 Mai Tai, as it was originally intended, we've got to get J-Ran FU17, but the stuff is $250,000 a bottle. So we tracked down a collector in New Orleans with an open bottle and went to him to get a sample. But basically, he said, I'll tell you what, I have a challenge for you. So he sent us on this Legend of Zelda side quest. He said, I'll give you a sample of J-Ran FU17, but here's this other rum that proved to me you can clone this first. A sample of 150-year-old rum from a historic colonial American rum distillery in Medford, Massachusetts. Yes?
Again, I find myself not able to fully follow this conversation, but Win seems pretty jacked up about it, so I'll hold it all together.
This sort of J-Ran FU cloning project and the side quest for Medford 1858 has been easily a 2-year project now.
Not only is there an incredible science behind this distillery, Jesus Christ, I had no idea what I was getting into.
So I walked into today not knowing anything about the Lost Spirits Distillery. I came, I saw, I conquered. I drank, and I drank some more. I made a few new friends. I went through a maze. I rode a boat. I learned a really cool story about a goat's head. I took the maiden voyage on their carousel. I even tried to take my own free sample. I highly recommend the Lost Spirits Distillery tour, and I would definitely come back. If you do make it out to the art district in downtown LA to check out this distillery, please do the right thing, be responsible, make sure you get a ride, a DD, somebody to take you home, because you're probably going to need it.
What did I just say? I don't know. Thanks, man. We'll see you next time. Hey, check out Lost Spirits, downtown LA. All right, man. Fuck you. See you later. That's our outro, buddy.